overbearing persons. Some have been guilty of that, I would say, right? Some have been guilty over those in your charge. See, we've been given a charge, and people have been placed in our charge, but we have to remember that we're going to have to give an account for our charge. But being examples, patterns and models of Christian living to the flock, to the congregation. We have to model what we're teaching to the congregation. We have to model. And if we model humility, if we model humility, if we model transparency, then there is less of a tendency to be attacked by the spirit of overshadow.
Right.
Because if we try to overshadow, God knows how to cut. He said, behold, I saw Satan fall in lightning. Right? So we don't want to, don't go there. We don't want to overshadow God. Right? Then he says, at the end of that, he says, and then the chief shepherd is revealed. All right? Underline that chief shepherd. Because we're not the chief shepherd. Sometimes we may think, and now here's something that we have to understand also. We know the right answers in settings like this.
Yes.
We know the right answers, we know the right things to say, but when we are serving the congregation on a daily basis, what is our mindset? Because we all can put down the right answers. Oh, yeah, that's right, and we can assent. We can make verbal assent to, yeah, that's what we're supposed to do. But when it's just you and the people God has given you to serve, where does our attitude go? Where does our attitude go? Hey, ain't nobody gonna tell me how to run. And this is what we say in my church. My brothers and sisters, my dearly beloved, I beseech you by the mercies of God to change that statement. It is not your church, it's God's church. Amen. But when we're by ourselves, everybody gonna tell me how to. Moving on to the next point. No, this is, we have to come to grips with this. You see what I'm saying? And I'll just say that some other faith traditions have dealt with this, and this may be one reason why they are expanding, because their pastors take on a more servant role. And I'm not saying that we don't, but I would venture to say, haven't been in here long, but I would venture to say that more of us need to.
Yes.
I'll just throw that in for free. I'm not charging you for that. That's free. All right? Next page, page number 7. Point the people to God. Always.
Yes.
Always point them to God. If we think like this, we won't even have to worry about overshadowing Christ.
Amen.
Right? Point it to God. Here's an account here. The scripture references an account of Peter when the Lord had him up on that roof, and the men from Cornelius' house came, and God had to deal with Peter, because Peter was prejudiced. Yeah, y'all know he was prejudiced, and God had to deal with Peter and his prejudiced self. See that? Remember I said we all have issues? Yeah. Now Peter has some issues, but God can still deal with you with your issues. Right? So Peter was prejudiced, and God had to deal with him. And when he got to Cornelius' house, when Cornelius met him, now here, this man is an apostle, a true apostle, right? Yeah, I'm gonna keep moving. Yeah. Peter, look at Acts 10:25. Here it is right here. And Peter arrived. We all know what happened. As Peter arrived, Cornelius met him, and falling down at his feet, he made obeisance and paid worshipful reverence to him, to Peter. But look at Peter. But Peter raised him up, saying, "Get up. I am also a man." See, people want to worship something. And if we're not careful, they will worship you as a servant.